No! She... Ah!
Hey! Let her go!
Confused. Sick.
The Penguin's fourth episode opens with Oz and Sophia being blindsided by Nadia in the alleyway. She chooses to hold Oz accountable for his treachery. She mentions that he appeared at the jail and struck a deal, and she's going to take the lab. Sophia is devastated to learn that Penguin killed Alberto, as well. While Sophia looks straight through Oz as he tries to persuade himself out of this, Victor appears. Regarding Sophia, she calls Dr. Julian Rush and requests his assistance, but not before asserting that Oz is to blame for the events that have occurred. She feels deeply betrayed by this, particularly as flashbacks reveal further details of Oz and Sophia's relationship. They have good banter together while he works as her driver. But Sophia is still reeling over the death of her mother. At a fundraiser, a reporter, Summer Gleason, points out that she's just one of many women who have committed suicide by hanging. This is something made all the harder to swallow given Sophia was there and happened to be the one who found her mother hanging. This small act has worked to drive Sophia's character, but her devotion to family is unquestionable. In fact, as the years pass, Carmine speaks to Sophia in confidence and decides they should break tradition. He wants her to take over as head of the family when he passes. This is something she's been wanting, especially after we hear a sly dig earlier on with Penguin, claiming she's not eligible for a promotion because of her gender. Sophia has an itch she can't scratch though, and it stems from Carmine's past, and all these girls that have died. Sophia meets with Gleason, determined to get to the bottom of what's happened. The official cause of death is hanging, but the impressions around the neck, given the crime scene photos she pores over, seem to indicate strangulation. The police missed this off, and also evidence of fighting back. Summer wants access to the club records, believing it'll protect the women. Now, it turns out her own mother had the same marks under her fingernails too, but Sophia gets spooked. She threatens Summer, lashes out at Oz who warns her away from this, and heads home. Sophia is reprimanded by Carmine not long after, as Penguin spills the details about her meet with Summer Gleason. The police believe Carmine is the murderer, and that meeting with Gleason has undermined her chances of succeeding in the family. That night, Sophia is arrested for murder. She's stuck with the hangman moniker and, sadly, thrown under the bus. She's locked up in Arkham, and needs to be there for 6 months before trial. There's nothing anybody can do, and Alberto sees her off, trying to rile her up with last words of, "Don't let him win." Sophia's mental state is fragile, and alongside a psychological evaluation, she's also the talk of the hospital too. She's called hangman and ends up making a friend in Magpie, her cellmate. This is also where we see Bliss, and how it keeps inmates docile and under control. Well, apart from one woman. It seems that someone on the inside set her free to go after Sophia, who's beaten down to a pulp. Dr. Julian Rush shows up the next day and questions Sophia's story about being framed for murder. He claims to be here to help her, but it's hard to know right now if he's being truthful. He and the officer in charge, Dr. Ventris, try to goad her into killing a fellow inmate, but when that fails, they instead start electroshock therapy on her. Sophia does her best to hold it together, until Alberto shows and claims that the trial is off. Ventris and Rush have decided she's not mentally fit to stand trial. Despite 6 months passing, she realizes that she could well spend the rest of her life in Arkham. Sophia snaps in the mess hall and eventually beats a fellow inmate, Magpie, to a pulp. Fast forward to the present, and Julian is there to help Sophia. She hasn't forgotten that he abandoned her to Dr. Ventris and his sick games behind bars. He wants her to get a fresh start, and after getting patched up, she agrees. And that's precisely what she does. She shows up in a bright dress, in the middle of Luca's big family speech commemorating Alberto, and calls them out for backstabbing her. Sophia announces she's turning her back on the family too, deciding that she's going to have a brand new beginning, on her own terms. That night, Sophia heads into the greenhouse to eat cake with Gia. She's the little girl from the dinner table earlier on, and the only one who looked at Sophia with any kindness. The pair sleep in the greenhouse that night, and in the morning we understand why. it turns out Sophia gassed out the entire house, killing everyone inside. This also contextualizes the scene we saw of Sophia keeping her window half open that night prior to this. The only one still alive is Johnny, whom Sophia shows up to see that morning, and tells him they need to talk. This week, Penguin is back with an all-Sophia episode that explicitly addresses the concepts of trust and familial loyalty. Sophia takes her family's past very seriously, as demonstrated by their relationship. Oz has always been an opportunistic person, but since he was the only one who supported and believed in her, learning that he was the one who killed Alberto is too much for her. In this episode, we witness Sophia, a lady who has been abandoned by her family, taking the most severe form of vengeance. But Sophia isn't a total monster either. After all, she saves Gia before killing everyone else at once. The writing in this series has been surprisingly good throughout, and this particular sequence is especially well written. The small tributes to Batman and especially Arkham are appreciated, and the performance is superb. It's anyone's guess where this battle will go from here on out, but based on what we've seen so far, it appears to be far from over. Sophia is serious about business this time. That's the end. Unlock the secrets of storytelling through our video, our YouTube channel's guide to the art of cinema. Join us as we delve into the narratives, the characters, and the sheer enchantment that movies bring to our lives. From script to screen, we've got it all covered. Join us as we analyze, critique, and appreciate the magic of movies. Subscribe to our channel for more videos.